Hi, I'm Stefano Ghisolfi and I'm a La Sportiva athlete since 2015, so it's been 7 years since we collaborate together, and it is a close collaboration because I now live in Arco in Trentino. La Sportiva is from Trentino, from Italy, so we have common roots and we share the same value. They make great products, they make the best climbing shoes in the world, and yeah, for me the performance is the most important thing, and having La Sportiva together with me is for me the best ally I could have. Yeah, the connection with Arco and with the Rockmaster is important because I live here. I train here in this climbing stadium almost every day, so La Sportiva is sponsor for Rockmaster, and it is important to me that is all connected.
Hello, my name is Raimonda Dushku and I am CEO and partner of Birra Artigianale in Pavida, which is a newborn craft brewery in Arco. We love being partners and sponsors of Rockmaster Arco because Arco is our hometown, first of all, and it is a Mecca for climbers of all around the world, and a beautiful festival. I would call it that way. It's not only a competition, but it's also a festival that brings together people with the same passion. Impavida means brave and following your own path and making independent choices, and that is definitely something that climbers do basically in their activity, and we love to be at the end of their climbing activity to share a good genuine craft beer for celebrating basically the day. So
my name is Oliviero Ragobbi. I'm the CEO and owner of Grivel, a company that makes technical mountain equipment since 1818. We are traditionally more known for mountaineering and ice climbing equipment, that is ice axes and crampons. In the recent years we have been investing a lot into rock climbing equipment, and we try to make ourselves more known into that field, and Rockmaster is a great opportunity for that. There is a natural connection between Rockmaster and Grivel because I think we have a similar heritage. Rockmaster is a very old, if we can say, competition that's been standing for a long time, and as well as we are an old company that's been around for a long time, so we share the same let's say heritage and the same tradition linked to mountaineering into rock climbing. We are particularly happy this year because we have been able to put on the wall our newest quick draw, which is called the Stealth Quick Draw, which is specially designed for sport climbing. It has a very wide opening and very ergonomic shape, so it's easier to clip and smoother for the rope.
Angelo Seneci, founder of Syntrock 2, Syntrock born with Rockmaster in '88. We built up the first climbing wall for Rockmaster. That was really adventure because nobody knows how to build up artificial climbing wall. And now, after 35 years, we are still here. We'll build up the new climbing wall for Rockmaster in 2000. We renew the wall in last year for the Italian Federation. And 2 weeks ago, we just finished the wall in Copper for the World Cup in September. We can say we have a long experience in artificial climbing wall for competition, but also for gym all over Europe.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Arco. Charlie Bosco here. Very pleased to say I've got local climber and route setter Leonardo Di Marino alongside me. 8 of the best climbers in the world have just walked past us. They're looking at the boulders and the rain has stopped. It doesn't get much better than that. Leo, earlier on today we had the women's Boulder duel, Boulder KO, excuse me. By the way, apologies for the issues with the electricity during the women's stream. They're all solved. We think we're done with technical problems. The women's competition was super entertaining. It felt like the level was pretty good. The Routesetters got it right.
I think in women competition we saw a lot of power from the competitors, but all the boulder shows us also some other elements. Flexibility, for sure, flexibility, some coordination, but most of the climbers shows a lot of power.
And for the men's competition, it looks like it's more of the same. It's a hard round. I think during the work round yesterday, some of the boulders, they only got 1 or 2 tops. It looks like it could be a hard round for the men as well.
We will see. That for sure, I think there are some elements are stronger, but probably in Boulder the level is average. It's like medium.
And the conditions, it's quite humid right now. It's not ideal. We just had about an hour of rain, and it's cooled off a little bit, but it's still quite humid. Maybe not perfect conditions.
Maybe not, because it's hot, and so after the rain, probably the humidity became higher, and maybe the women were most likely.
They were. Yeah, it's certainly not quite as good a conditions as it was for the women. It is normally sunny here in Arco, as I discovered yesterday on my little tour of the Garda Trentino region. For the 35th time, the eyes of the climbing world are turning this week to Arco in the heart of the Garda Trentino region. The area is a mecca for climbing and most other outdoor sports, as I found out yesterday, starting on the famous Ponali Trail with my guide Carmen and Steffi, who's in charge of outdoor projects at the Garda Trentino Tourist Board. Steffi, we're high above Lake Garda, you work for the Tourist Board here. What are you focusing on right now?
Here at Lake Garda we have a lot of tourists right now, and it's important to protect also our environment. That's why we are promoting less but caring more about our trails. We start this year with the team of Garda Rangers that really goes to our trails, check if they are okay, otherwise they work and repair it.
And when people visit Lake Garda, what will they see change in the next 5 years?
We also try to manage also the access to some hotspots, because, for example, we were here along the Ponale. We have here about more than 500,000 people per year passing along this trail, and sometimes it's too much and it can be dangerous. That's why we want also to develop a management system also to regulate the access to some hotspots. Our richness is that at Lake Garda you have everything. We have climbing cracks, we have biking tours, we have hiking trails, we have canyoning, paragliding. Also, we live in a paradise, and also water sports is not missing, so everybody can do everything.
After lunch we headed out with mountain guide Mauro Girardi to check out one of the 20 crags which make up the outdoor park, an initiative started to make Arco climbing more accessible for newcomers to the sport.
Arco, it's a nice place to start climbing because it's easy to find information about where is the crag of climbing, and we have a lot of easy climbing and difficult climbing. The community of Arco, Nago and Torbole, 15 years ago they start to take care about the climbing walls. The information tourist office, Garda Trentino, like 10, 12 years ago, they made an outdoor park for. They started to rebuild a new tracks for the bikers, and also started to take care about the climbing walls and all about the fun that you can have in the Garda Lake. The recommendation of a climber that I can give is to come in Arco because it's nice. We have a lot of routes from easy to difficult, and what is fun that you can climb half-day climbing, and then you can go windsurfing, you can go biking, you can go in the beach and have a relaxed day.
Finally, we wandered into the old town of Arco and grabbed a word with the president of Arco Rockmaster, Stefano Tambarini, to better understand what climbing means to the town and to the wider Garda Trentino region.
The connection between climbing and Arco is very strong. Arco is definitely, we can say, the house of climbing. The connection between climbing and Arco started in the 80s and started growing in the last 10 years very fast. I mean, not only the connection between Arco and the territory and the economy, but also with the people that live in Arco. Now they've got a different attitude towards the climbing. When the climbing started, I mean, in the 80s was not a real sport that we like it, because there was few people that they don't live very much on the territory, but now it's completely different. Now Arco lives for climbing. The economy of Arco is based most of the climbing sport and all the people that make this climbing. I think the connection between Arco and the climbing is something unique. It's something that a feeling that you can feel when you go walking through the streets of Arco. You go to the ice cream shop, you see all the photos of the climber. You go to every shop that you visit. There's something that remember you that you are in the house of climbing.
Welcome back. We're a couple of minutes away now from the start. The athletes will be presented to the crowd and to you guys at home, and then we'll get underway. We'll talk a little bit more about format and scoring in just a second, but we've just had an extra 5 minutes to take a look at the boulders. Of course, the Routesetters have only just changed them from the women's boulders. Leo, it looks quite old school setting. That's a good thing.
I think it's the good thing. Due to the rule, when you have to measure all the olds in the and not only the zone and the top, maybe also for the empathy of the crowd, that you have time to see the climber much more time on the boulder, and so you are much more involved in to force the climber.
Yeah, we have a very different format for the Arco Rockmaster than you might see in an IFSC World Cup, for example. One climber goes, then the next one, then the next one. So they all get one attempt, and then those who didn't make it get another attempt. So it changes the nature of the route setting slightly. Just to let you know who we have got this afternoon, by the way, some of the climbers dropped out, including Adam Ondra, another victim of COVID. COVID is still causing problems. But we have got Fede Samoilov, who'll be climbing first, and Nikolaj Uznik and Jakub Schubert, the two Austrians. Then Misha Pekoruaz, Luka Potočar of Slovenia, Martin Stranik of the Czech Republic, and Stefano Gasolfi, and finally Filip Schenk, so two Italians to finish off. It's a very, very strong field, and it's quite a powerful field. Do you think that will work well with the boulders we have?
Sorry. What do you mean?
We have some very powerful climbers.
Yes.
So you think it will work well? We have powerful boulders. I hope the boulders are hard enough.
I don't know. I think maybe because it's a combined boulder lead. I don't know, but we have seen in this year that something like Schubert, like Jakob is stronger in lead and stronger in boulder.
Yeah, he's pretty good at everything. Yes, by the way, in terms of starting order, this is quite an interesting thing. The climbers get to choose their starting order. So the highest ranked climber in the current IFSC combined rankings, that is combined lead and boulder, not including the speed, they get to choose whether they climb first, second, third, and so on to 8th. And Jakob Schubert, who is currently the highest ranked climber in the IFSC combined rankings, has chosen to climb 3rd. Interesting, because obviously the later you climb, the more other climbers you get to watch, but conversely the conditions probably get a little bit worse. So slightly surprising that Jakob would choose to climb quite so early. In the women's competition, Cheon Se had the first choice and she chose to climb 6th, but Jakob choosing to go 3rd. But he's won 22 World Cups, 3 World Championships and the Olympic bronze, so he knows what he's doing. So we will now present the athletes to the crowd, and then they'll be underway. Remember, the climbers have already worked these boulders. They had an hour on them yesterday. It's an hour just free for all. They can stay on one boulder, they can look at all 4, they can do whatever they like, but they don't know the order of the boulders. So they don't know if the boulder they're working on is the 1st one or the 4th one. And because we have a knockout format, they might spend a lot of time practicing the 4th boulder, for example, and then never get to climb it in the competition. So they have got to work them, but they definitely don't know them inside out. So first climber out, and from the Ukraine, Fede Samoilov. Great to see Ukraine represented as they were in the women's competition by Evgenia Kazbekova. We offer our wholehearted support to Ukraine right now, and it's really good to see two of their climbers here in Arco. So the first of two Austrians coming up now, Nikolai Uznik. Really been stringing together some pretty strong results. He was fourth in the World Games in Boulder just a couple of weeks ago in Birmingham, Alabama. But I don't think Nikolai will take offense if I say he's not quite the most successful Austrian climber here today. That award most certainly goes to the next man who's about to be introduced. As I just mentioned, 22-time World Cup winner, 22 World Cup wins. And he's just been described as a legend by the venue MC. I can't really do any better. 3 World Championships and the bronze medalist from the Olympics. It is, of course, Jakob Schubert. He's been at this an awfully long time, Jakob. Very rarely seems to get injured. Doesn't seem to struggle with motivation. Just keeps on going, keeps bringing home the silverware. He's only here for one thing this afternoon. So up next, we're going to be introducing the first Italian, first of 3 in this men's final. We had 2 in the women's side, 3 on the men's side. And it's Misha Pekoruaz, former housemate of Jakob Schubert. That was a strong house. There's a few other strong climbers living in that house in Innsbruck. And yeah, Misha from the Südtirol, the German-speaking bit of Italy. Here he is. Pretty close to a home World Cup for Misha, not just the country but also the town. He hails from Bolzano, which is only an hour or so up the road. So Luka Potočar of Slovenia. We had Vita Lukan, also of Slovenia on the women's side, and they've got one athlete on this men's side as well. Very, very promising young climber, Luka, particularly on the lead side. He's picked up both World Cup and World Championship medals in lead. Definitely one to watch in the years to come. Be really interesting to see how he gets on with such a strong field on the boulder side. So Martin Stranik, 32 years old, the oldest climber in this men's competition. Still cutting it though. 4th in the 2021 World Championship in lead. And he's also picked up a couple of World Cup medals as well. So age does not appear to be catching up with him any more than it's catching up with Jakob, which is pretty ineffectively. So just waiting to be introduced there. Of course, getting the big introduction, the local star. Not from Arco, but lived here now for a few years. Very much an honorary local. And also a climber that's had some pretty notable successes, including no less than 6 lead World Cup wins. Here he is, Stefano Di Solfi. So one more climber, one more Italian to introduce to the crowd. There he is. Looks like he wants to get on with it. He was in the final of the lead World Cup last week, 10 days ago? I lost track of time. In Briançon, whenever the last World Cup in Briançon was. And no slouch on the boulder either. 5 years ago in Innsbruck, 2017, he won the Youth World Championship in Boulder. So a bit like Luka, really beginning to string together results at senior level, and one to watch. I think they will both be featuring a lot at the business end of climbing competitions over the next 5 to 10 years. So that is the 8 climbers, and of course the venue MC in the middle. And the climbers have, of course, observed these boulders and practiced them. They've actually been on them for an hour last night. But the key point is the Routesetters have made some small changes. They can make small tweaks. The only rule is that they have to tell the climbers about them, so they can't remove a foothold and then just keep quiet. They have to show the climbers what they've done, but the climbers won't have climbed on them since the changes have been made. So there is still an element of figuring things out And that looks a lot like Jerry Moffat down the front there. Great to see a true legend of the sport here. Leo, you must know Jerry.
Yes, I've competed against him in a Rockmaster 88.
Okay. Did you beat him?
No. I think I was the last one, maybe.
It's okay.
Allora andiamo ancora qualche istante per sistemarsi, per preparare le scarpette e poi si sale, si va, si vola in parete.
So the athletes take their position down the front of the stage, and up comes Fedor Samolov, first boulder. It's the same wall, of course, that we had for the women's competition. The Routesetters just had a couple of hours to change things around, and Fedor, no messing around whatsoever, straight into it. Not quite had the results he's been looking for so far in 2022. No finals in any discipline yet, but he's in a strong field here. And he's absolutely cruising this boulder. The last few moves, no joke by any means though. Particularly the second to last move, which you'll see in just a second. As I understand it, the match here is not easy. The last move isn't super easy, but apparently this move that Fed is about to try and do now is probably the hardest move in the top part of the boulder. You can see him trying to get a toe hook involved. He's done the match. He's got the left hand. He's got to do something with the right hand. It should be okay if you get that toe hook secure, and it is. So Fedor Samolov straight out, top for him. Strong start.
I remember him when we began in the competition. He was thin, very flexible. Now he's very
big guy,
bigger than before.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a couple of years, and he's definitely changed shape, put some muscle on. So here's Nikolai Uznik, one of several very promising young Austrians coming through. As I mentioned earlier, just fresh from the World Games in Alabama, 4th place in the boulder there. So if you are just tuning in, welcome along. Charlie Bosco here with Leonardo Di Marino alongside me. Local Routesetters, we lose Nikolai quite early on. And I was about to say, we have got a I go, you go format here. So the first climber goes, they have their attempt, whether they get up or not. The next climber goes, and the next climber goes. And we rank the climbers on who got the top the quickest. If they're still tied, we have ways of separating them, but on this first boulder, all we're looking for is for 6 climbers to progress. So the 2 climbers who perform worst will be knocked out after just one boulder. So Nikolai will already, you suspect, be getting rather nervous. Jakob on the mats now. 15 years at the top level, still going strong. Still as passionate as ever. And as I say, just keeps seeming to, like a fine wine, just gets better with age. Oh, never looked like that left hand was super secure. That performance from Fedor is looking more impressive now. Now I've had a couple of other climbers attempt it. Did the foot slip?
Well, in this movement, it's very important to have the foot stay on the holds. If you lose, you immediately lose the holds, also the hands.
Misha Pikolraz now was at the Olympics, of course, last year. Didn't make the final, but I actually was chatting to Misha a couple of days ago. He said he still thinks about the Olympics every day. He said it's the most incredible experience, and he's very motivated to qualify for the next one. First things first, though, Arco Rockmaster in this first boulder. So a bit of a decision to make here. How high do you choose to go on the volume? He went low and then moved the hand up. I think think he probably made the first movement a little bit more secure. So Fede got to this point and was able to top. Well, Misha shows the strength he's got in his shoulders, managed to hold that swing and bring the feet back in, and went for a different method across the top. Got a really solid left hand on the top, but he just couldn't stop the swing. It looks like maybe it's easier if you're a bit more static.
Probably this is the choice of the boulder specialist. And Samuel of it.
To go quicker. Yeah. So Luca comes out for his first attempt. Fede Samoilov knows already that he's going to the second boulder, because remember, on this first boulder we take the top 6 through to the second boulder, so he knows he's already going to finish higher than at least 3 climbers. So Fede is safely onto Boulder 2, the others with work to do. And Luca went super high on the volume as well. Looked like he just got a little bit too stretched. Let's have another look. Looked like the right foot started to move, and that pulled the left one off. Martin Stranik now, the Czech representative. As I mentioned earlier, Adam Ondra not able to join us. He's had COVID and no longer has COVID, but still feeling pretty weak. I just don't think feeling capable of competing. So Martin, the only Czech climber taking part. Still only one top on this boulder. Fede Samoilov already separating himself. And Martin went low on the volume with the left hand. We didn't really see what happened. Let's have another look. Looked like the foot was already coming off by the time his left hand landed. So Stefano Ghisolfi gets a bit of an extra cheer. As I say, he only lives a couple of kilometers away from this Arco climbing stadium. Let's see what he can do on the first boulder. This is the move. Well, this move and getting comfortable on this volume have been the issue. Again, we lose Stefano. It's hard to tell what's happening. We keep going in too close, but hopefully we'll get a replay.
We haven't seen the left foot, but
if the foot goes, you have no chance. The right hand is terrible.
The foot sole is still very little, and it's in part covered by another one.
Yeah. So Philip Schenk, final climber out. It's going quickly this round. We've only had one top. Fede Samoilov came out first and topped it. And you can't help but wonder if we're then going to see a stream of tops. But as it turned out, nobody else has got it on their first attempt. So everyone apart from Fede at this stage will be having another go. Philip Schenk might also find the top. Gets in position, and look close. He had a split second where he paused on that move. He couldn't stick it, so Fede Samoilov, the only climber to find the top on that first round. So Fede is done, and that means that Nikolai Uznik is the first climber to have their second attempt. Climbers actually, by the way, they only have 15 seconds to start the problem from when they arrive on the wall. Pretty impossible to judge when they officially arrive at the wall, but basically they need to get a move on so they can have a quick brush, quickly chalk up, and then they've got to get moving. Nikolai is underway. So here he goes. It seems that if you can stick this move, you have a really good chance of progressing. never really stopped moving. His left hand landed, but he was already sliding down.
You have to balance to go very high and or stay not so high, but sure to have the foot on the hole.
So Jakob's up next. The climber who's coming after him, Misha Pikolruaz, probably came the second closest to topping this boulder. Jakob goes really high and the feet came off, but he just had so much contact strength. He was able to stop on the top of the volume. So now he's got himself here. Can he convert? Looking pretty solid on this top section. Left hand side, get a toe hook, maybe a heel hook. There it is. So,
to match on the pinch was enough.
But it worked. Jakob almost certainly through now. We know that he'll finish ahead of Nikolai Uznik. If one other climber can't do it, then Jakob is safely through. So Misha, out for his second attempt, was close on the first one. He got a big left hand on the top hole, but couldn't stay there. So gets himself set up. It's hard to tell from this angle what's actually happening. Misha can't repeat his move from earlier. It would be good to see the whole climber, not just the foot, on the key move. Let's see. Luca Patočar now. So no one's really struggling with the moves up and left, touch wood. It's just all about whether you can hang on to this volume. Goes with the right, thought about going with the right hand. So he went high. It seems with that volume that the higher you go, the better it is, but then the higher you go, the worse the feet feel. So it's a bit of a compromise. Went high. Wasn't too far off. Martin Stranik now, we're flying through these climbers. So his second attempt, we already know that Jakob is through, we already know that Ferrier is through. They're the only two climbers to have topped it. Misha Pikolruaz has been close, but not nearly as close on the second attempt. Martin tried to kind of pinch the top of the volume.
The pinch volume was the solution of Jakob.
Yeah.
The others saw him.
Yeah, of course, the other climbers are watching, so they can get some information. Stefano Ghisolfi now. Second attempt for him. Remember, we want 6 climbers to go through, so the 2 lowest scoring climbers will be eliminated. Let's have a look what Stefano can do. Getting himself in position. Going up with the left hand. Oh, and he makes it work. Really great work from Stefano. Went quite low on the volume and then just adjusted. So here he comes across the top. He'd only be the 3rd climber to do this if he can find a top. Doesn't look particularly comfortable. Needs to find out some way of moving that right hand. Oh, the elbows are out. Stefano definitely working hard here. Will he just lunge for the top? No, he goes to the mat. Somehow stays on. And that is a well-earned top from Stefano Ghisolfi. Had to work for that. It looked like he was struggling at the top.
Anyway, we have seen that to match the last hold before the top, it's very hard.
Really clever climbing from Stefano. He went low on the volume, worked up. You can see here, that is a man who's trying hard. As soon as the right hand landed though, he looked much more solid. There we go. And maybe not, now we see his face. Working hard all the way. So 3 tops now. Philip Schenk looking to make it 4. Yeah, use the same method like Stefano. It is so different to most climbing competitions where the climbers can't see each other. This time they can watch, they can learn from each other. Philip Schenk definitely figured out the method. Definitely not done though. Yeah, couldn't quite figure out how to bring his right hand up. So 3rd attempt now for 5 of the climbers. Nikolai Uznik will be the first one. Let's have another look at Philip Schenk, how he did the move up to the left.
And for sure they have more chance if they have a left foot very, very solid on the holds.
Nikolai Uznik now, 3rd attempt for him on this first boulder. Fedir Samoilov, who was ahead of him in the running order, topped it on his first attempt. Jakob Schubert, who would have been after him in the running order, topped it on his 2nd attempt. So after Nikolai, we'll have Misha Pekoruaz. So here's Nikolai setting up. Went right for the top of the volume. Couldn't make it work, so no top for him. We'll talk more in a second about scoring. Now, while Misha brushes, we can quickly say the Routesetters provide a photograph to the judges and they number the holds, like on a lead climb. So if you get to this hold, you get 1. If you get to this hold, you get 2, and so on and so forth. They're not labeled on the wall, so we can't see them. But that information is available to the judges, and the judges can decide if climbers are tied because they didn't get to the top. The judges can decide who got furthest on the boulder using that information. We'd rather it didn't come to that. We'd rather it was just all done by tops, but it's there if they need it. Now, Misha, great work from him. So Misha, who's been up here before, can he make it count this time? Needs to somehow get those feet involved. This is the move that almost stopped Stefano, and it does stop Misha Pekoruaz. He cannot quite make it work. Twice he was on that final section. The last time he took a big lunge for the top. This time I think he realized he had to match. So Luca now back up. I think Nikolai Uznik is the climber that's made the least progress, so I think we're going to lose Nikolai. We'll see what the judges say. As I say, there is an element of judging and they have to decide how far it's felt each climber got. So here he goes, got to get through this move first before he gets a shot at the top. Does really well. accurate with the left hand. Doesn't look like he's enjoying that foothold much. I can see why. I was up there looking at the boulders earlier, and that foothold is, I'm not sure there is a polite word for it. It's not very good. You see there, it just never looked like he was entirely happy on it. Martin Stranick will be up next.
I think at the first Federer has been very solid.
That was
very,
amazing.
Yes.
Oh, Martin just cannot find that move up to the left. I don't think he's progressed much further than that on the ball, and I don't think that'll be enough to see him through. I think it might be Martin Stranick and Nikolai Uznik that we're losing, because Philip Schenk had a really good look at the top part of the boulder. We'll wait for the judges to do their thing, but I think it's going to be Nikolai Uznik and Martin Stranick who we lose. Yeah, we just had confirmation we've actually got access to the scoring system. Don't tell anyone. Nikolai Uznik and Martin Stranick will be the two climbers who go out. Philip Schenk
Is climbing for pleasure.
He's climbing, exactly, yeah. He's climbing like the rest of us do, because we like it. You can see that foothold, it is not great. He's done well there to keep his balance, keep exerting force through that right foot. So Philip Schenk, top would be nice, it's not essential, he is through to the next boulder. But if countback was an issue on the next boulder, which it could be, this could be crucial. I have to say, he made that match look pretty easy.
Strong.
Very strong. Little fist bump for Stefano. So 4 tops in the end. I think it's a pretty good result. Routesetters got that one pretty good. So now we move on to the second boulder.
Now you have seen coordination, power,
stamina. Yeah.
Because it's not so short. It's 10 movements.
Yeah, it's tough boulder all round. You can see there Nikolai and Martin Stranick are the climbers that we lose here. That was Fede right at the start. When the first climber walks out and does the boulder on their first attempt, you think, okay, maybe everyone's going to do it, but no, it took a lot of work. This was Misha, I think this was the first attempt.
Thank you.
This is Martin Stranick, he just couldn't find a way to stay on that volume. And this was Stefano, one of the earlier attempts. I enjoyed that boulder. The climbers were making progress every time. Jakob went straight for the top. Just refused to let go. It's been working for 15 years, why change? Found the top. It's nice, we get a replay of everyone's, all the attempts. This is Martin again, went for the top, tried a couple of methods, Martin, but couldn't make any of them work. Stefano, so this was his second attempt, he did it on the second attempt, this was great, great fight. Most certainly earned that one. Remember, you've got to match the top hole. It's no good just grabbing hold of it. To be awarded the top by the judges, you need to match it and stay there. So first boulder was pretty powerful, and so is the second one. Few possible methods of doing this, but I think I was chatting to Tomasz Olecki, who's chief route setter for the Boulder here. Very successful competition climbing career himself, now a very, very high standard international setter, and he said they have to climb quickly on this boulder. Not many opportunities to rest. Fede can't quite nail that move going out with the right hand. There's a quite a good hold out to the right, but it's blocked, so you've got to come out. If you're not accurate, you're going to miss it. Looks like Fede might have been just below it. Jakob, no pulling on. Same rules as we see in most competitions. 4 bits of tape to denote where your 4 limbs have to go. Oh, perfect timing from Jakob. Power and timing right there, so it actually didn't look super hard. Now this has been changed ever so slightly, this move.
Ciao.
So Misha Picolruaz is the third climber. Interesting to watch Jakob go through the lower moves. Let's see what Misha can do. Had 3 very tiring attempts at that first boulder. Oh, and just misses the coordination. As I said, there's a blocker hold behind that right hand that he just missed. Let's have a look. You can't quite see it because the blocker hold's black, so it means you've got to be super accurate. Looks like he just missed. Luca now. Second boulder, first attempt. Couldn't find a top on that first boulder. We did make more progress on it than Nikolai or Martin, hence him being through. Oh, really nice work, so powerful going up. A bit like Jakob, it didn't look too hard because he got the method so right. Now this is, I was about to say it when Jakob was on, that right hand, you still know which hold I mean, that right hand was changed ever so slightly by the Routesetters just to make this move slightly easier. As you can see, it's still not easy, but they did rotate that right hand slightly just to make the hold a little bit more positive as you went for it. So Stefano Ghisolfi. Now next, Philip Schenk will be after him. Need a lot of power for that move. Oh, different method again. Almost matched using the left hand. Stefano's been super creative in this round so far. This is his first attempt on the second boulder. That move must have been really hard yesterday because they made it easier today.
We discover a Ghisolfi boulderist.
Wasn't topped by everyone yesterday in this boulder, even when they were working together and there was no time pressure. I think there was only maybe a couple of the climbers topped it in the work session. So no doubt this is a super hard boulder. not helping is the fact that after the rain, the ground is wet, the trees are wet. There's a lot of humidity right now in Arco. It's not super hot, but it's very humid. It's not making life easy at all. Good work from Philip Schenk. Now goes out left. Get himself set. Seeing plenty of his shoes. That's what we want to see. Looks in quite a good position, but can he get... I was about to say, can he get the left hand free? Went with the right.
It could be the solution because you have...
You have a heel hook, I guess?
A heel hook, the right heel hook. You can stop the rotation well with the heel hook.
No joy for Fed here on attempt number 2. Jakob up next. Let's have a look at Fed here. Never really kind of stopped moving. Let's say the climbers have got 15 seconds to get moving. I don't think it's a hard and fast rule, but they haven't got long. Jakob, and notice brushing the top holds, so he clearly thinks he's going to get to them. Here he goes again. It's that move out left that stopped him last time. His execution of this move was perfect the first time, it's perfect the second time. So here he goes, Jakob. Might do something different with the feet. Oh, went up with the left. Let's take another look at it. It's pretty accurate. Not far off. You will have to clearly be absolutely perfect on that move up and left. Remember, on this boulder as well, we're going to lose 2 climbers, so the 2 climbers who perform worst on this boulder will be out. If there's a tie, which seems possible right now, it'll be count back to the first performance on the first boulder. Misha getting frustrated, can't quite figure out how to do that move out to the right. Do often see it on these coordination moves that once you've learned it and you've got a little bit of muscle memory, you can just do it over and over again, but until you learn it, it can feel almost impossible. It seems that Misha's just struggling to get it right the first time. You suspect once he's done it, he'll be able to do it consistently. Right, Luca firing up now, trying to get this first coordination move done. He did it pretty easily last time, does it pretty easily this time. Looking strong so far. The key, it would seem, is to get as comfortable as possible before this move. That heel hook might work for him, let's see. Oh, makes it work on the left hold. Can he now convert this to a top though? It's such a poor hold. Will he just launch from the top? He does. Superb effort from Luca, the best we've seen so far, for sure. Just couldn't figure out then what to do with the feet, and you haven't got long to think about it because that's just such a poor left hand.
Probably they did a very good coordination to jump to the last hold.
Needs to be perfect.
And this is...
Stefano, who's been really entertaining in this round. Come up with all sorts of novel solutions back on this second boulder. So as I mentioned earlier, that right hand has been improved slightly to make that move slightly easier. But it's still absolutely at the limit even for climbers at this level. Only Luke has actually stuck the move. Again, Stefano he was pretty accurate. Philip Schenk, the final climber to have his second attempt. Not too bad on the coordination move. Now time to get himself set. What to do with the feet here. Yeah, it looked like he was in a good position. It's just a terrible hold. Let's have another look. Yeah, the right heel was solid. Left is about as good as it could get. Maybe it was just to the left of it. Here goes Fedir. So everyone, of course, all 6 climbers who are remaining in the competition will have another go, because nobody has yet topped it. So Fedir, that is as far as he will go. That's the move he's fallen on every time. So he's in a bit of danger. Misha Pekoraz is in the same position. He hasn't got any further than that. And that means we will lose Fedir at this stage, because whether Misha does it or not, Fedir is going to finish in the bottom 2 on this boulder. So Fedir will be out. That leaves us 5 climbers. We need to narrow it down to 4 before the third boulder. Jakob's up next. Definitely feel that this boulder is toppable. But it's bad conditions. A physical boulder already behind them and 2 attempts already done. Has anyone got the energy left? Here goes Jakob. Oh, makes it work. Big lunge for the top. Jakob Schubert. That is why he's one of the greatest competition climbers of all time. I was just listing how much climbing they've done, how tired they must be. Who else but Jakob could suddenly just pull it out from nowhere? Amazing performance from Jakob. He'll sail through, because he already knows he's going to finish ahead of at least 2 people regardless of what else happens. So Jakob's safely through. Now Misha in a little bit of danger here. A lot of danger, in fact. If he can't get through this coordination move, he won't have done enough. He won't have progressed as far on the boulder as 4 other people, and that means he will be out. So here he goes. Got to somehow nail this bit here, and does. What a comeback this would be if he could find a way from here. Just cannot get that slap up to the right. So I think that is still going to mean he's out, because he's still not done as many moves as everybody else. So I think we're going to lose Misha at this stage. We're definitely losing Fedir Samoilov. That means that the remaining 3 climbers, Luca Patocha, Stefano Gisolfi and Philip Schenk, may climb. On the women's side, Yevgenia Kazbekova chose not to climb when she was already out. I wonder if the climbers can choose not to climb if they're already through. So that was Fedir. And this was Jakob.
I think that with two boulders like this, after 2 rounds, they could be very tired.
Fatigue is an issue, for sure. Yeah, so Misha Picoleros is out, and just looking, looks like Luca is going to do the boulder anyway. Oh, he's going to try the boulder anyway, I should say. So just one top so far, Jakob Schubert. Right, Luca getting set up now. He was pretty close on his last attempt. Oh, and holds a crimp again. What he needs to do is somehow free the feet, launch for the top. High drama here in Arco, and a top for Luca. He is safely onto the next boulder. He was before he even left the ground, but he's topped it. The cherry on the cake.
So we have to go on. We have to go on because the show must go on. So let's go on with
Stefano, he is safely through. Again, brushing high up, expects to get there. Let's see what you can do with this one. Put on a great show on the first boulder, and he's had some really impressive attempts on this second boulder, but no top as yet. Got the coordination part. Big move out left, big move out right, then get yourself set. Here goes Stefano. Ooh, I think he was right on the hold there, but just couldn't quite hang on to it. He was accurate.
Close to grab the holds, but this is the method for sure.
Yeah, there's not much wrong. Got the hold perfectly, but just couldn't hang on to it. So Philip Schenk now, the final climber on this second boulder. We already know that the 4 climbers going through will be Jakob Schubert, Luca Patocha, Stefano Ghisolfi and Philip Schenk. So Italy already guaranteed another medal. Laura Gora picked one up earlier. Don't want to tell you too much if you haven't watched the replay. Philip never quite looked like he was solid launching for that tiny crimp, and he doesn't manage to find it, but he is through to the third boulder. Lunged for it, but as I say, he didn't look too convinced he was going to make it work. So we now move out onto the third boulder. We're over to the slab, right-hand side of the wall, that red panel. You can see the black volumes, a couple of yellow holds as well. The slab is hard. I was looking at it earlier. I think the Routesetters feel this is a really tough slab. We can see there Misha Picoleros, Fedor Samoilov, Nikolai Uznik and Martin Stranik, the climbers that we lost earlier on. So 4 progressed. Yeah, this slab, there's a lot of moves as well. It's a long boulder. You start on the left, you move to the right, you go up, you come all the way back left. So a lot of climbing. This was Fedor on number 2. And Jakob. So that was must have been Jakob's second go, I think, or first go. He got it on the 3rd attempt. Got topped twice by Jakob and Luca, and they both did it on their 3rd attempt. So it took a little bit of figuring out, despite the work session yesterday.
I think Misha was very tired for the first boulder, because when your coordination is a condition, is also a good condition. You need a good condition to be coordinated.
Yeah. Yeah, your timing starts to go when you're when you're tired.
Yes.
This was Luca, I think. Close that time. Got even closer later on. He managed to top it. Stefano, no top for him, but 3 valiant attempts, all of which ended at about the same place. Let's have a look. Was this second attempt? I think it was, because Jakob brought it home. There it is. That was, sorry, third attempt for Jakob. So let's have a look at Misha. This was the closest he got, actually. Most of the climbers, their best attempts were the last ones. This was when Luca topped it. Immaculate timing from him. And finally, Philip Schenk, who also ended his attempts where Stefano did. So slight change has been made to this boulder since the work round. On the right-hand volume there, you can just see it disappearing off the screen. There was a tiny little yellow screw-on foothold. So you can see about where Jakob is going to put his right foot. There was a little screw on hold. It wasn't actually much use, and the Routesetters have taken it off. Keep an eye, there's black tape on the side of this volume, boulder, excuse me. That means the athletes can't put any part of their body beyond that black tape, or they can't touch the wall beyond that black tape. I was talking about how hard this slab is, how it's a journey. No problem for Jakob. Not easy to get across to the top hold. As you can see, I think one of the crux moves is actually getting across to the top hold, getting that foot up. Once you have the foot there, as I understand it, from watching the work session yesterday and talking to the Routesetters, it appears that once that foot is secure, you should be okay. He made quick work of the lower section, Jakob. So Jakob got pretty much as close as you can get without topping. Let's see what Luca can do. We're looking for 3 climbers to progress to the final boulder. So if you get off this boulder and onto the next one, you know you're going to get a medal, and the colours get decided on the next one. Luca unable to execute the move to the right. It'll be Stefano out next. And I think, as you may just have picked up from the camera, it is beginning to rain again here in Arco, just very gently. The rain that fell earlier has really given the air some humidity. So let's focus on Stefano. Conditions certainly won't get any worse in the next 5 or 10 minutes, so we can just enjoy the climbing. The crowd staying right where they are, so the rain clearly not very hard. And Stefano very smoothly up to that big dish hold. Ooh, but couldn't quite get set on it. And he's off. Remember, only the worst performing climber on this boulder will be eliminated, so you've only got to do better than one person. And you're through to the final. Hard to tell from that angle. Ah, the right foot just slipped a centimetre. Philip Schenk now, 4th climber to attempt this 3rd boulder. Jakob Schubert's got the highest on it so far. Very smoothly across. You can see dual texture volumes being used here. So the black volumes, you can actually see it visually. The inside of the dish is high friction, the outside essentially useless. So you can't really kind of pinch the volumes. You can't squeeze them. You've got to be incredibly accurate in how you weight them. You can see Philip Schenk now wrestling with the same issue that Jakob had, which is how do you get your foot up? that's how. Should be toppable from here. As long as that left foot holds. And you can match the top, which you can, so Philip Schenk will most certainly make his way onto the final boulder, because even if everyone else tops it, Philip Schenk got it on his first attempt. No one is going to do better than that, so Philip Schenk knows he's certainly going to outperform at least one climber. And that's all he needs to make it through. Beautifully done. Once that right foot was there, it looked like he was pretty confident. It took him a little bit of time just to figure it out, but it always looked like he was going to top from there. So Jakob got very close on the last attempt. Just watch Philip Schenk do it. Did he learn anything? Will he change his method at all? I don't think he'll change much about the lower section. So Jakob has been up here before. You can see how hard the rain is falling now. The crowd resolutely refusing to acknowledge it and still staying right where they are. No one's moved an inch. Jakob just cannot seem to get a foot up. Trying to somehow lift himself up so he can get that foot higher. There it sticks. All the stretching paying off for Jakob. Still doesn't look that easy across the top. I said the last move shouldn't be too bad. It doesn't look super easy. Jakob actually using that yellow hold just before the top hold. You can see him holding on to it there. He's not got the top. Now he has, and he's got a match. There it is. Fantastic work from Jakob. Finally found a way. Worked hard for that. So Jakob finds the top. That really puts the pressure on Luca and Stefano. If they don't find a top on this attempt, they're basically in a shootout between the two of them for that place in the final. Very smooth up to that dish, but we saw Stefano falling here. It's not that secure. You've got to be so careful in your movements. And Luca just can't find a way. Tried to go up left, but once your feet aren't on a slab like this, you're in real trouble. Stefano now. He can actually secure his place on the final boulder if he can find a top. It's a big if. It's a very difficult series of moves. There's a couple of cruxes on the boulder, but if he can do it, he'll be through.
You can see it's a very spectacular competition.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Stefano's been one of the most entertaining climbers of the day. What's he got for us here? Across to the dish, no problem. This is where he fell last time. It's just, yeah, so his right foot actually slipped again, just a little bit that time, but not quite so badly, and he just cannot find a way over to that left-hand dish. So I'm just looking at our scores. The judges deeming that both climbers have made the same progress, so they're currently tied. Might come back to count back on the previous boulder. There's not much to separate them. Just looking down. Yeah, I think it would be Stefano who goes through because he topped the first boulder and Luca didn't. Oh, and Luca really short on that one. Couldn't quite stick it on slabs that are set well like this. You can't make the slightest positioning error. Yeah, so that is Luca out because Stefano's had more attempts where he's got further than Luca. I hope that makes sense. Stefano got to hold 3 on 2 attempts. Luca only got to hold 3 on 1 of his attempts. So it will be Stefano who progresses. Now then, he fell on this one on the first attempt. He falls on it on the 3rd attempt. But it matters not. Stefano is through. 2 tops on that one. Feels like the level has been great from the Routesetters. 2 tops on this boulder, 2 tops on the second boulder, 4 tops on the first boulder. So half the climbers have topped each boulder, which seems really good level. Now we move on to the 4th and final boulder, the yellow one, yeah, on the green panel, just to the left off centre. It's still very, it's not raining too hard, but there's still some rain coming down. You can see the judges going undercover, the crowd not giving up. It's not cold at all, that's one nice thing. And there are the 3. So Italy are going to pick up 2 medals for sure. Philip Schenk, Jakob Schubert and Stefano Gistolfi safely through. Final boulder. This is a boulder that the Routesetters made slightly harder actually on after watching the work session. Took away a foothold near the bottom, made a couple of little tweaks, but not significant changes. We'll see how they pan out. So far it's felt like the level has been pretty much perfect. Every boulder's been topped by half the climbers. Pretty good going.
Schubert is Schubert. Ma Philip have a very good condition and very good climbing.
Yeah, he's climbing really well.
Because on the slab he was very...
That was Jakob.
I think the first mistake of Jakob is not to turn the right hand to have the power to put the right foot high.
Seeing a replay of the attempts here, this was
we haven't seen, but Philip have turned the right hand on the disc.
So Jakob's actually out on the mats now. That was when he topped. He was out on the mats for the 4th boulder. Here he is. You can see there, picked up the Olympic bronze medal. It still seems crazy, climbing in the Olympics. But yeah, Olympic bronze medal for Jakob. You might remember he topped the final lead route. No one else topped it. Amazing moment. But let's turn to matters in hand. Jakob got a fight on his hands if he wants to win an Arco Rockmaster. Very strong start from Jakob. He has won 3 Boulder World Cups. He's seen primarily as a lead climber, but he's a fantastically successful boulderer too. And he just now somehow needs to get himself set for the top, which he does. What a performance from Jakob. First attempt, first top. The boulder was made slightly harder overnight, as I said. It doesn't stop Jakob. Stefano next to attempt it. Let's take another look at Jakob.
Il primo tentativo mette anche un po' di pressione agli avversari che sono chiamati ad eguagliarlo.
Stefano now.
Al primo tentativo, altrimenti
Been
loro
great to watch
se l'è già messo in
so
tasca.
far this afternoon, this evening. Still got the duel to come on the wall he trains on most days here in Arco. See what he can do on this boulder. And really struggling with that first move. See what Philip Schenk can do. Jakob already topped it. So we know that Jakob will finish ahead of Stefano. If Philip Schenk can't top it this time, Jakob's already assured of the gold medal, and it's these two Italians fighting it out for silver and bronze.
Diciamo che è uscito un epiteto per i tracciatori, poco lusinghiero, in maniera scherzosa naturalmente, il nostro parterre.
So Philip Schenk pulling on is absolutely crucial now, because as I say, Jakob's already had a top.
Sarà lui a rompere le uova nel paniere nella scalata.
Philip can't make the move work either, which means Jakob is going to win, and Philip. And
It's a very little hold.
It's terrible hold. Philip and Stefano battling it out now. Jakob assured of yet another gold medal.
Tutto è pronto per il secondo tentativo di Stefano Ghisolfi. Ancora una volta.
So second attempt for Stefano.
Questa parete regina, questo KO bunker.
Philip deemed by the judges to have got slightly further on that first attempt, so Stefano got some real pressure here. He's got to somehow do better than Philip did on the last time, and he still can't make that move stick.
So you need a lot of power to compress the two holds to control the swing, because you can't grab the right holds. Also the left holds, it's only compression hold.
There's nothing there. There's nothing positive.
It's not a
right?
pinch.
Yeah.
It's nothing positive.
So Philip Schenk now,
Pectoral machine.
second attempt. So if memory serves me right, he got this move last time. He gets it this time. So at least it's different. It's no use seeing the feet. You need to see the climber. At least it's a change this time. And this again is one of the crux moves, getting the left foot up. And it is enough to get Philip Schenk the top. So he will take second, Stefano will take third. Because Philip got it on his second attempt. Even if Stefano does it next time, he hasn't bettered Philip. So it will be Jakob who wins. Philip Schenk, big result for him in a strong field, is second place. And Stefano Ghisolfi, who we haven't seen in a bouldering comp much in 2022, ends up with a bronze. And Stefano is having another go. Doesn't need to, the result is decided. But why not? Enjoying the home crowd as well he might. Let's see if he can make this big first move. Here we go. Gets the right hand. This was the move that's been stopping him. This time he makes it work. So the top half of the boulder hasn't looked nearly as hard. Could we have a lovely finish to this competition with the top from Stefano? He's really having to work hard, definitely getting tired now. One more hole to go. If he can just get the feet up, particularly that left foot on the volume he's just touched, he might be able to do it. But Stefano, as he has all afternoon, provided wonderful entertainment. This time not able to convert it into a top. Let's have another look. He got his knee onto the hole and he actually touched it with his foot, but he couldn't keep the foot there and he couldn't use it. So rather like the women's competition, the rain comes at the end and the crowd disappear. I think gelato beckons in Arco town. So this was Jakob, no problem really with the boulder. Just keeps on doing it year after year after year. Jakob is there and Jakob is winning. Another win for him, this time Arco Rockmaster 2022, the KO boulder. Stefano, he just couldn't figure out that first move. By the time he got a really good look at it, at the top part of the boulder, I think he was pretty tired, and that's the final result. Jakob Schubert there takes the win. Philip Schenk and Stefano Gisolfi rounding out the podium. Luka Potočar, Misha Pekoruas, Fedor Samolov, Nikolai Uznik and Martin Stranik, the remainder of the 8. So we'll get the 3 climbers now presented to the crowd and to you guys at home. Here is Stefano Gisolfi taking home 3rd place.
I think a very good performance for Stefano in Boulder.
Very
One
strong,
of the
yeah.
best.
We haven't seen him much in the boulder this year. Very good result for him. Excellent result as well for Philip Schenk. There's no shame at all at the age of 21, finishing 2nd to Jakob Schubert.
This is a surprise, but enough surprise because he's every year he's becoming stronger and stronger.
A bit like Jakob Schubert. Jakob Schubert just seems to get stronger and stronger. Another win for him.
Oh, sorry. Becoming stronger and stronger.
Yeah. Gold medal for Jakob Schubert. And Stefano, the director of the Rockmaster competition, handing out the flowers. And there we have it. Stefano Gisolfi picks up bronze medal. Silver for Philip Schenk and gold for Jakob Schubert. So 3 medals for Italy. Very good day for them. Laura Rigora, of course, picking one up earlier today. So that is all from the Boulder Wall here in Arco as the climbing stadium empties and people head into town, find some shelter from the rain. There is more to come though. We are back at 9:45 local time, 9:45 Central European time for the dual competition in the famous Arco climbing stadium. But that is all for today. Before we go, a little treat for you. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about the history of the Arco Rockmaster, here's a chat I had yesterday with the organizer, Angelo Sonecci. See you shortly.
In 86, Manuele Casarà and Andrea Mellano came to Arco proposing to have the 2nd competition in the world. And it was a lucky moment because we were discussing about a new tourist model. In 86, we had the first Portrocha on the rocks. This was really successful event. And in this winter, municipality called me and asked to think about a new idea. And together we decided to have a unique event, something that really they can say, okay, this is Arco. We decided to have a master only for the best climber from the first edition. And from this time, the story started and never finished till now. From the beginning, our focus to do an event deeply related to the economy of Arco and the tourism economy of Arco. When you say Rockmaster, you understand Arco immediately and climbing. I am happy when somebody that is not a climber related Arco to Rockmaster and Rockmaster to Arco. This, I think, is the best result that we got. We are a laboratory for climbing. All the other competitions have a standard, of course, it's national, international circuit and so on. But we decide not to be out, but to be free of this standardization and try new formula like dual, like our boulder, and to find a way to show climbing to the wider audience. Everybody in Arco feels to be part of the story because everybody have a clear relation with the economy of Arco that is passion from climbing, and also because really it's a part of life. Also, if you walk in Arco, It's difficult to find somebody without climbing or outdoor gear. If you have the possibility to look to Arco, now to look in the past to Arco 40 years ago, you cannot believe that is Arco. Now it's completely, of course, it's easy to see that it's completely changed. We pass from a little grey town to a colored town.